Hi, my name is Catherine Harwell, and this is my presentation on Artifact 9, beginning with Standard 5.1, ISTE Criterion 16, use technology to create, adapt, and personalize learning experiences that foster independent learning and accommodate learner differences and needs. In my classroom, I use lots of different choice boards for technology for my students. On the left, this is an example of a technology choice board that I have posted on my eClass page for students to quickly click the picture of the resource that they want to go to. They're all hyperlinked, and it takes them to where they want to go. Additionally, on the right, I have my web tiles on my eClass page, which includes lots of different websites for students to go to help them with certain areas and standards that we're learning on. For example, if we're learning about addition, they click on this addition and it takes them to different learning games. The subtraction one is right next to it. We have more things such as place value, base 10, number lines, comparing numbers, all sorts of things. For students, when they're working on a digital learning day from home, or even sometimes independently learning, they will use virtual math manipulatives that, as you can see over here, I have also linked in my eClass page. When you click on this, it takes you to this screen right here, and students can choose any area that they would like to use. So they can choose from dice, fraction, bars. They have shapes, both 2D and 3D. They have snap cubes, tens frames, virtual money, a scale, place value, clocks to help with time, all sorts of stuff. Students typically don't use these when they're working in small groups or with partners, but a lot of times they will choose to use virtual manipulatives when working from home with their homework or on a digital learning day, as well as when they're working independently. Throughout the year, we take 3 different iReady screeners in both reading and math. We take one at the beginning, middle, and end of the year to track student growth and success. On the left, you can see the scores from the beginning of the year and where students are scoring in every single domain. And on the right, you can see one student in particular's pathway for their learning. This helps me track their growth independently so that I know where to support students and how to accommodate their difference in their learner needs. Here are some picture examples of multimodal learning in play in my classroom. We have students learning in a variety of different ways that suits their individual need. For example, on the left, we have a student who's using a whiteboard and marker to show their math thinking. I use lots of videos in my classroom to reinforce learning. Down here, we have an active engagement where students are required to make a 3D shape using toothpicks and marshmallows, and right above it we have the result of one of my students showing what she made with her materials. In the middle here, we have students working in groups with their snap cubes and physical manipulatives in the classroom. Right here we have students working on the board in whole class settings. We have students building robots out of 3D shapes. And lastly, we have students using their virtual manipulatives as mentioned before from the eClass page. All of these are ways in which students can learn, and it assesses all different learner needs. For Standard 6.1, ISTE Criterion 16, foster a culture where students take ownership of their learning goals and outcomes in both independent and group settings. Throughout the year, I have personalized learning plans, and I meet with students individually at the beginning and end of each quarter. This is an example of a personalized learning plan that I did with a student from last year. It shows their plan information and their learner profile. We start by talking about the student's strengths and their personal interests. This helps me really tailor their learning to what they love to do and make learning fun for them. Additionally, we talk about their pre-assessment results. We get those from their iReady screeners. The student in particular showed really good strengths in reading and that she needed some support in math, which we indicated over here in the reflection. For the personalized learning plan, we discussed the learner need, which in this case was math, and the standards that we're going to assess, which in this case was addition and subtraction within 20. We talked about what the student needed to know in order to succeed, how she wanted to access her information, which she said that she liked videos, teacher, small group, partner work, and homework, and how we're going to engage that student would be sticker charts and rewards, and how she's going to express her learning is showing progress after taking the mid-year iReady math assessment. Lastly, we have the resources that she can use to master the objective, as well as student reflection and teacher reflection. Right here we show the personal learning pathway for the student. We can show that she has passed her lessons and how much time she spends on those lessons, as well as an example of the iReady success tracker that I use in my personal classroom. When they pass a lesson, they come get a sticker, and when they pass 25 lessons, they get candy. For Standard 7.1 is T Criterion 23, provide alternative ways for students to demonstrate competency and reflect on their learning using technology. In my classroom, I did a first grade market, which is a student-driven project. In this project, students were tasked with being producers and consumers in the classroom, and they were making and selling products to the different teachers and students in the school. You can see all of the different things that they came up with, as well as all of the different ways they wanted to advertise their products or services. We have products such as flowers, lemonade, and Moe's nachos and chips, as well as services such as nail painting. Students were given the option to advertise with posters or doing digital advertisements as well, such as these two shown right here, where students advertised nail painting and lemonade. These were presented on the scrolling advertisements for the school. It plays before and after morning announcements, as well as throughout the day. At the end of this project, students had to self-reflect on Nearpod with questions such as, did you sell a good or a service? What was it? When you were a consumer, what did you buy? What would you do differently next time? And how do you think you did with this project? For several of these slides, students were able to draw their responses if they weren't so strong in the writing aspect. Students were also able to participate in polls as well. This gives the teacher a good idea of what students know and how they did in the project.